What's going on, Nitrocytes? It is your boy, the Nitro General here, and welcome back to another video. And welcome back to another episode of my tier list series. Now, in the last episode, we started a new mini tier list series where I'm going over the competitive rankings for every meta competitive Pokemon as of May 2020. So if you're wondering why any of these Pokemon are in the spots that they are, go and watch the other video I did the other day. We did only get up to Slowbro on that episode. So I'm going to try to do a little bit less explaining and a little bit more ranking in the video so that we can get through more Pokemon so we don't waste as much time. But yeah, we are going to be going over. If you guys didn't watch the last episode, which if you didn't, you totally should. You can skip through it, see where reason why I put any of the Pokemon where I did in the lists wise. I'll just scroll down so you guys can see any of the Pokemon here, and that is as far as we've gotten. But yeah, so these rankings are the Pokemon's competitive, how good they are competitively in the last game that they appeared in. So excluding Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee because those weren't competitive games. They didn't have abilities, they didn't have a lot of moves, there was a lot of Pokemon that weren't in it, all that stuff. So basically either Ultra Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield, whatever their most recent game they have appeared in. And why I think that they're good. So we're going to be going over every Pokemon, and without further ado, let's get right into it. If you guys are excited, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I say at the beginning of a lot of the videos that I do, I am trying to get this channel partnered, so if you guys like this type of content, if you like all this stuff, make sure to slap a like on the video and subscribe. Hit that bell too, so when I do release another video, you won't miss it. All that kind of stuff. It would be awesome if we get this channel partnered so I can make videos for you guys full time. So if you like this stuff, leave a like down below. Hit the subscribe button. Draft League content coming soon too. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. So the first Pokemon that I'm going to be talking about in this video is Slowbro. Now, Slowbro, I mean, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, Slowbro is relatively bulky. I have never seen it get very much use competitively, so I'm going to put Slowbro in C, and I'm going to put Mega Slowbro in B, only because of the fact that Slowbro is just, it's not a very bulky, well, it's very bulky, but that is the only thing it really has going for it. It doesn't have great special attack, it doesn't have great attack, it's more of a special attacker, I believe, so that's why people tend to run, like, Scald and Psychic and stuff on it, but it's never really been that good of a Pokemon, so nobody's ever really used it. Well, at least not that I've seen. Mega Slowbro is a little bit more bulky and a little bit more offensive, so that's why it gets bumped up, but still, I don't know, I wouldn't really consider, I think this is, yeah, it's only the second Mega Evolution in there. I think Pidgeot was supposed to be in C. So, yeah, but that's just, I don't know. Slowbro is better than Pikachu. Pikachu's in C, but yeah. So yeah. But if I didn't mention it already, we're only going to be going down to D because E and F is just too much to kind of comprehend. So so yeah, we are only going to be doing S being amazing, A being pretty good, B being they're not bad, but they're not really good either. C being, they're pretty bad. They're not great. I mean, they're not awful, but they're pretty bad. And then B being awful competitively. So, yeah. Not like, these aren't my opinions on how much I like the Pokemon. Because I love Arbok. I think Arbok is a dope Pokemon. But I really don't really care for Butterfree that much. So, but if you guys want to see my my rankings on how I feel about Pokemon in every generation, go check out the earlier videos in this tier list series. I went over ones in every generation, my opinion on all of them, not competitively. So yeah, but Magneton, I mean, Magneton we can put in C. I don't know. It's okay. It is relatively offensive. It's not really super bulky. I mean, if you give it the Eviolite, it can be decently bulky. I've seen people have somewhat usage, not in VGC, but in Draft League, I've seen people use it somewhat well. Slapping an Eviolite on this thing is pretty good. You can even slap a Scarf on it too if you really want to surprise people, because most of the time any unevolved Pokemon is going to be running Eviolite. But yeah, given the Eviolite, it can be decently bulky, and because with the introduction of Magnezone in Generation 4, I believe 4, then you got the ability to slap Eviolite on Magneton, so it became decently well, I guess. So then you have Dodrio. Now, I am going to put Dodrio in D. The only thing Dodrio has going for it, is that it's fast. It's decently fast. But the fact is that it's not great offensive. I mean, I've seen some people have okay using it in Draft League, but Draft League is really the only time where any Pokemon that you wouldn't think would be good competitively is decent competitively. And Dodrio is just, it's not great. The normal flying typing is such a bad typing, in my opinion, because I believe it is weak to fighting type. I believe it is. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's neutral, but I can't really think of it off the top of my head. But I believe it's super effective against fighting types. So really the only, I mean, it's not like, you can't even send it out against the fighting type. I don't even think it gets access to Air Slash, which is like one of the best flying type moves. It gets access to like Aerial Ace, but it doesn't. I mean, I think it gets access to Roost and stuff, so it has decent recovery. But yeah, Dugong, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put in D. It is relatively bulky, and I like Dugong. Dugong is such a cool Pokemon, but it's just not great competitively. Ice is a decent typing. I know I said that in the last video. Ice is a decent typing. It just is. It does relatively well offensively, and it is okay bulky, but it's just not. It's slow. It's not fast. Unfortunately it's not that great of a Pokemon, and I wish it was better, but it just isn't. Why is it? Oh, you have to go up here. That's why. All right. So Muck, I'm going to put both Galarian Muck and Cantonian Muck in C tier, only because they are pretty bulky and they get access to a lot of different poison moves. Now, poison is really, really good competitively, whether the only thing that really wants to switch into a poison attack is a steel typing or maybe a ground type. And, or a psychic type, I guess. But other than that, a lot of Pokemon do not like to take poison hits, whether that's, Sludge Wave or Poison Jab. I think it's relatively specially offensive, but it's relatively bulky. Galarian, or not Galarian, Alolan Muck getting to the steel typing, which is really, really awesome. Steel Poison is a really, really cool typing, meaning that its only weaknesses are ground and psychic, so in fire. But other than that, I mean, it's relatively good. I have never had success using a Muck, but if it is released in the DLC, I may consider using it, because as much as I don't care for Muck as a Pokemon, it is one that I've always wanted to try using competitively. But so then we have Cloyster. Now I am going to put Cloyster in B because of two words: Shell Smash. Now, Shell Smash is a great move. Whether once you use Shell Smash, basically it lowers your defense and it increases your speed by 2 stages. So basically, you end up with one Shell Smash, and you can start hitting things really, really hard. Cloyster already has a decent attack stat, so giving it like a Shell Smash, Icicle Crash set is phenomenal. I mean, you could throw Scald on it too, because it's another stab move, but Cloyster is decent. It just really is. So, Shell Smash is a great move. Ice is a decent good competitive the move or competitive typing. I totally blanked out there for a second, but yeah. So if you guys are wondering why it is black and all the colors seem a little bit more saturated, that is because I turned on dark mode, because I think it works a little bit better with videos like this. That way everything's not so bright and in your guy's face. So if you want me to go back to the regular white, let me know, but I just think black works a little bit better. So next we have the Ghastly line. Now, I am actually going to include Haunter in this, and I'm going to put Haunter in C because of the fact that Haunter can be decently good with an Eviolite. Haunter is already kind of bulky, so giving the Eviolite to it makes it really, really bulky. And it can hit hard with stuff like Poison Jab and Shadow Ball and, all that kind of stuff. It gets access to Toxic. It's a decent Pokemon when you give it the Eviolite. It really is. So Gengar, I'm gonna put in B. Now, it may surprise some people that I put it this low, and I like Gengar. Don't get me wrong. Gengar is a fantastic Pokemon. It is really cool. It's not great, and once it got that poison typing, it got rid of the ability Levitate, it just really hindered this Pokemon, because you can't send, the only thing you can really send Gengar out against, the only thing Ghost is good against is Psychic, and you send Gengar out to Shadow Ball and Alakazam or something, and it gets hit by a Psychic and it's dead, because it's also weak to Psychic being a poison type, and also with the fact that it is also weak to ground. So if you have a Pokemon with like Earthquake or something, like if you have like a Machamp with Earthquake and you send in Gengar to not be affected by like a Dynamic Punch or something, and then it uses Earthquake instead, and it'll kill Gengar. And once it lost the ability Levitate, and it gained Curse Body, or I think Curse Body is Curse Body, I think, is the one that it acquired. So it no longer gets the immunity for ground type moves, and once it lost the Levitate ability, it really did lose kind of my love for using it competitively, because it can no longer be immune to those ground type moves. And I've always thought Gengar was really, really good competitively until I realized its stats are just mediocre. So, but its Mega Evolution, on the other hand, I'm going to put in the A tier. Its Mega Evolution is decently fast. It's got an amazing shiny, but shinies do not matter in this video. But I have had a lot of success using Mega Gengar competitively in Ultra Sun and Moon. It gets access to a lot of decent moves. I think my moveset on it was Toxic, Shadow Ball, Poison Jab, maybe. I don't know. I think I gave it Poison Jab only because I don't think it's better. I think it's better, especially offensively, but I don't think it has a terrible physical stat. If you can memorize like every good competitive Pokemon's like special defense and special attack and everything like that to know, I applaud you, because I have been playing Pokemon for 20 years and there is still a lot of Pokemon. Like, I couldn't tell you if Mega Gengar especially or regular or more defensive. Like, I don't know. I believe it's more especially offensive than it is just regular offensive, but I don't know. If you know that, then I applaud you, because I cannot memorize anything like that. But we're not going to be talking about Onix because it's not relevant competitively. But Hypno. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Hypno in the D tier. I have never seen any person ever have any success using Hypno in anything but a playthrough. I've used Hypno in numerous different playthroughs, especially in Generation 2, because, again, in the original Gold and Silver, Psychic was still a fantastic typing. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it's not as good, but it's decent. But it's it's not a good Pokemon. It does get access to Hypnosis and stuff, but again, Hypnosis isn't really that accurate, so it doesn't get access to anything like Spore or Sleep Powder or anything like that, obviously. So it doesn't get reliable sleep-inducing moves, so there's that. But Kingler, I'm also going to have to put into... Actually, we'll put Kingler in C. I know Kingler is decently offensive, so... I don't know. I just know that like it hits hard with like Crab Hammer and stuff. I have seen some people have an alright time using it, especially once it got its Gigantamax form, which is okay. But yeah, Electrode we're gonna be putting in C. And one word, okay, and that is explosion. Now, normally when you're playing competitive Pokemon, you don't want it to die. But if anybody has ever watched a Nuzlocke at all on YouTube, you know that Electrode is famous for one thing, and that is going boom. If you guys didn't know, one of my first shiny fails ever was a long, long time ago. And that was an Electrode, and it was because it went boom. And I had totally blanked out on it. I was a lot younger, so I didn't know. Now, obviously, I'd know. But it does suck because it does get explosion. And a lot of people think that in competitively you want to keep your Pokemon alive, but not necessarily. It's not. If you have an Electrode in the back and its sole purpose is to go boom, it is basically like a time bomb. So that is my favorite. One of my favorite things to do competitively is have a Pokemon that can go boom and have it in the back just so I can send it out if I need it. And Electrode is decently bulky, so it can take a hit. So if you send it in, unless it's like a ground type move or something like that, should be able to take a hit, at least one hit. Unless it's coming from something absurdly strong, like a Charizard or something like that. But it usually can take a hit, and then you just make it go boom. And especially in double battles, if you send in it after a Pokemon dies or something, and then you have it go boom, send it out against like a Haunter or a Gengar or something where the explosion won't affect your Pokemon, or have your Pokemon protect or something like that, and then just make it go boom. I have had numerous times where it has actually worked out for me that it does that. So that's the only reason why I'm not putting it in the D tier, is because I think it can be decent when you do put explosion or self-destruct on it. Now, Exeggutor. Okay, I do not know where I'm going to put either of these. I'm going to put them both in the C tier. I know they're decently bulky, and I know that they some people have had success using it, but and I would put Alolan Exeggutor higher, but its stats are not better. The only thing that makes it better is that it gains the Dragon typing, which is awesome. But that also means that it's 4 times weak to Ice, and it's also Fairy is super effective against it. Flying, Fire, Dragon. It has so many different Bug. It has so many different weaknesses that it just gains more getting the Dragon typing. And as weird as it is, I don't think it's any better than regular Exeggutor, and that's just my opinion. Marowak. Unfortunately, I'm gonna put Marowak in D tier and Alolan Marowak in C tier. Now, Marowak, I have seen some people have success using, but only in Draft League. Alolan Marowak, I have seen some people have success with, but also only in Draft League. But what makes it better than regular Marowak is that it has the Ghost typing. And Ghost Fire is a super cool typing, I think. The Shadow Bone move it has is really dope. I love it. I really hope it makes it into the DLC at some point, because I really want to try using an Alolan Marowak competitively, even though I know that it might be a little bit hard, but I just have, it's one of my favorites. It's like my second favorite Alolan form after Ninetales, and I love it, and I think it's super cool, and I think it can be decently, I mean, it's not bulky, but it can be decently offensive, I believe. So I'm going to give it that. Now, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, I am going to put them in B. Why, do you ask? Why would I put them in B? Why? I don't know, because they're offensively good. I mean, they're not defensively, but I have always believed that Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan were a decent Pokemon. I always have, and I think I always will. Probably because I always loved Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee was one of the first shiny Pokemon I got. Not like hunted for, but first one of the first ones I got. So I mean, there's that. But I always liked using them competitively. I know Hitmontop is a lot better than either of them, but still, I don't know. Lickalicky or Lickitung or Lickalicky, yeah, that's what it is. I'm not going to be talking about now. Galarian Weezing. I am going to put Galarian Weezing in B. Well, okay. We're gonna put regular Weezing in B, and we're gonna put Galarian Weezing in A. Okay, and I'll explain this because I know it might seem weird. Regular Weezing is okay because of the fact that it's bulky, and I believe that Weezing can be switched into a lot of different Pokemon, being a poison typing, which is decent competitively. And I'm going to stand by the fact that I say Weezing is a good Pokemon to use competitively. And I know a lot of people think it's not, but I'm going to stand by the fact. But the thing that makes Galarian Weezing great is two things. One, it gains the Fairy typing, which is arguably the best competitive typing. It's bulky, and it has the ability neutralizing gas, which basically gets rid of Pokemon's abilities. So if you send out Galarian Weezing, then I don't know, I don't think it affects your team's abilities. It might, but I know it does the opposing teams. So you don't have to worry about, like, if a Pokemon has Levitate, you send out like an Excadrill, Galarian Weezing has that. You don't have to worry about Excadrill not hitting a Pokemon with Earthquake or something like that. It's just it's really good because of those two things. Now, I know it's not great, especially offensive or just offensive in general, but I'm going to stand by the fact that Galarian Weezing is a good Pokemon to use competitively. Now, Rhydon. Now, surprisingly enough, I'm going to put Rhydon. I'm going to put Rhydon in A. Only because it's already pretty bulky, but once you slap an Eviolite on Rhydon, it is super, super bulky. Now, I know Rhyperior is better than Rhydon, but why you would ever use an Eviolite Rhydon over a Rhyperior, I don't know. But you can. Actually, I'm going to put it in B, only because of that, because you're never going to use it over a Rhyperior. But it is decent, and I think it was one of the best Pokemon in Generation 1 offensively that's on the legendary. So I just think it's really good. Anyways, so that is why Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan you are not going in B. You are going in I don't know. You are going in D. I'm sorry. Kangaskhan is not a good Pokemon. It's kind of bulky. I don't like it. I just don't. But it's not good competitively. Never seen anybody use it. Mega Kangaskhan, we're going to put in B, only because its ability changes to, I think it's Motherly Bond or Parental Bond or something like that, which makes it so it hits twice with every attack. And that makes it decently good. Now, I have tried using it competitively. I have never had very much success, but Mega Kangaskhan is decent, and that's just it's pretty good offensively, and then adding the fact that it gets 2 hits off, it's pretty good. We are probably not going to make it to the end of the generation, but we can hope before this video, because I don't want to make this video too long. Seeking. No. Do I even need to explain it? No. Seeking, terrible. Bad Pokemon. Never use it. Don't do it. Starmie. We can put Starmie in C. Starmie is okay, especially offensively. It is kind of bulky. Never seen anybody use it competitively, but I think it can be decent. Yeah, Mr. Mime, Cantonian Mr. Mime, D, Galarian Mr. Mime, C, because of the fact that you could slap an Eviolite on Galarian Mr. Mime and it can actually be decent. Jinx, It's fucking screw Jinx. I hate Jinx so much. One of my least favorite Pokemon of all time. Not even gonna explain it. Bad Pokemon. Just bad. Bad Pokemon. Electivire and Magmar going in the C tier only because of the fact that you can put an Eviolite on them and they can be decently good. I know I've been saying that a lot, but that's just the fact. Is that a lot of Pokemon? There are a lot of Pokemon that got evolutions after that. Once you put an Eviolite on them, can become really good competitively. Now I think you'd rather use an Electivire and a Magmortar over an Electabuzz and Magmar, but I don't know. I think they're good. Pinsir, I'm going to put in C. It does get access to a lot of different moves like Guillotine and stuff like that, which is Guillotine's not good competitively, but it can be all right. Mega Pinsir is going to go into B. I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, it's not great, but it's decently well, pretty good offensively, relatively bulky. I've never had success using Mega Pinsir, but I haven't really used it extensively. It does get access to a lot of stuff like Bug Buzz. I don't think it gets access to Quiver Dance, unfortunately, which I kind of wish it did, but Tauros, unfortunately, is going to go into D. It is not good offensively, or it's not bulky or anything like that. But yeah. Gyarados. Now, both Gyaradoses are going into the S tier because Mega Gyarados is not available in Sword and Shield, but regular Gyarados is. Regular Gyarados is fan-freaking-tastic in Sun and Moon, and Mega Gyarados was pretty great, and actually, we're going to put Mega Gyarados in A because of the fact that Mega Gyarados doesn't appear in Sword and Shield, so in Ultra Sun and Moon it wasn't great, but it was pretty good. And but yeah, regular Gyarados is fantastic. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that in it. Lapras is going into A tier because Lapras is a super great offensively bulky Pokemon. I think you're going to see a lot of Gigantamax Lapras in competitively only because it has the ability to set up Aurora Veil automatically when it Mega Evolves, so that is really good. You don't even have to have Hail up, so I think because it sets up Hail on its own, I believe, but with its G-Max Ice type moves. But yeah, great Pokemon, love it. Ditto. I'm gonna put Ditto in C only because of the fact that if you know how to use it, it can be good. Because of the fact that, like, I saw somebody play against the Ditto, and the Ditto transformed into Hydreigon and swept the entire team. Because if you have an imposter Ditto and you send it into the right Pokemon and have it transform into that Pokemon, your opponent's gonna get wrecked. So that's just it. Now we're going on to the Eevee evolutions. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit dicey. The 3 Eevee evolutions that we're going to cover right now, Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon. Now, B tier is Vaporeon and Flareon. They are both decently offensive, and Flareon's relatively bulky. They can be good competitively. Jolteon's going to go into A because it is fast, hits hard, it's great Pokemon. I think it works really, really, really good. Omastar, I'm going to put into B because of the fact that it also gets access to Shell Smash just like Cloyster. You can give it Stone Edge, you can give it Scald, you can give it stuff like that, and I think it works relatively well. Kabutops, I believe, is going to go into C tier. It is not a great Pokemon. I would love for it to be a better Pokemon. I love the Scythe on the arms. I think it's fantastic, but it's just not that great. Then you have... wow, why can't I think of this Pokemon's Aerodactyl? We're gonna put Aerodactyl in C, and we're gonna put Mega Aerodactyl in B, because they're both relatively offensive. I have never seen people really use Aerodactyl great, but I know Aerodactyl can be good offensively, and Mega Aerodactyl, besides the fact that it's so badass looking, it also gets access to like Stone Edge and everything like that, and it hits really, really hard with its physical attack stat, and it's just a really, really, really good Pokemon in general. Snorlax is going to A. I believe Snorlax is a fantastic Pokemon. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's super bulky. That's Snorlax's whole thing is being super bulky. So, now the legendary birds. Okay, so here's the thing. I am not going to be going over legendary Pokemon because of the fact is that I have never been a big fan of using legendary Pokemon. Okay, I've never been a big fan of using legendary Pokemon competitively. So I don't know very much about them. I don't know if they're bulky or anything. So other than that, I am just gonna say we're gonna move on from these legendaries because they're all good. So the last Pokemon we're gonna cover in this video is Dragonite, and of course Dragonite is going to be good. So Dragonite's going into A. I mean, it's a pseudo legendary, cannot not be good. So yeah, it gets access to Roost, which is awesome. It gets access to Marvel Scale, which is a great ability. It can get Air Slash, Dragon Claw, Dragon Pulse. Um, I don't think it gets access to Brave Bird, but it does get access to Sky Attack, I believe. Sky Attack, you could give it a Power Herb style Sky Attack, which actually would be kind of cool. I've never thought about that until just now, but Power Herb Sky Attack would be kind of cool just to use, but it's pseudo legendary. You can't just say no. So we're gonna skip over Mewtwo and Mew. But yeah, that is gonna be it for today's video. If you guys like this, if you're enjoying this kind of series, ranking competitive Pokemon, let me know. I'd be happy to do more videos like this. But other than that, guys, that is it for me. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed. Like, if you did, if you like seeing this stupidly ugly face, if you like the commentary, if you like all that stuff, smack a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. New videos coming to you guys all the time. Hopefully, if you guys didn't watch one of my last videos, my Nintendo account was hacked. So, nothing was stolen, really, out of it. But the Nintendo representative I talked to has told me not to go online just for the time being while they investigate this stuff. And I think they don't have a lot of people doing it because of the virus right now. So hopefully I'll be able to go online soon and we can start the NPPA. So, but if you guys are excited for that, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. But like I say at the end of every video, I really, really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Nature General out. Peace.